Thank you, guys. I've got a few questions to warm us all up today, this very cold morning that we have. But sorry, gents, these are questions only to ladies. So ladies, if you could raise your hand if you have your own business or want to start one. I can see some hands going up. Okay. The second question is, please raise your hand if you want to influence change in the world with your work. Also ladies only, please. Oh, more hands, good stuff. A little bit different question. Raise your hands, ladies, if you want to have kids at one point. All right, cool. More and more hands are being raised, that's interesting. The last question I'm gonna ask, please raise your hand if you're the one who usually takes care of your household. Okay, a lot, once again, that's good. It's quite interesting to see how many of us women, goal-driven, ambitious, successful, have raised hands every single time I ask the question. We want to be great businesswomen, we want to be great mothers, we want to take care of our household. And probably this list doesn't end here, as we also love to develop our passions, be it sport, music, reading books, doing yoga, doing some crazy stuff, etc., etc. Why is it that in 21st century, when we would ask men the same question, the response we get would be so much different? When we ask men, who is more respected in our society, working women or a housewife, 34% of men say that working women are, and only 7% that the latter. When we ask women the same question, the response we get is so much different. 52% of women in our society say that working women are much more respected, and only 3% that housewives are. For most men, 51%, it doesn't matter what women do. They don't care. But only for 38% of women is the same. Why is it that women feel so much pride from working in professional environment? And why men don't feel the same towards women? Women started to work kind of hand in hand with men approximately 50 years ago. We started to be admitted to schools, to unis, to work along men. We started also to realize how rewarding work and education can be. It's even more rewarding when you can do both, work and take care of your personal family life. Common story that most of you know, some from observation, some from your own experience, is that there is a lot of women who are very ambitious. They work hard, they learn hard, they study hard, but only a fraction of them actually reaches the top. What happens along the way that prevents us from getting to the top? Only 14% of Fortune 500 C-level executives are women. Why is that? Society, mass media, ideology, religion, institutions of power, name them. They all tell us what we should and need to do. Our own moms are telling us what we should be. But what's interesting is that despite this huge transformation that has happened around 50 years ago, the list of expectation hasn't really changed. It has expanded. We're expected to be great businesswomen on top of being great housewives. We're expected to be great lovers on top of being great partners. We're expected to be the first ones to arrive to a school to pick up our kid whenever he's feeling not great. And we are also the one who should stay at home and help him get back to his health. All of this done on top of every other things that we need to do every day. All of this done in the same time, in one lifespan. There are so many expectations that we have to deliver on, so many roles that we have to fulfill. It's quite interesting that social paradigm is evolving in a sense that women start to be treated as equals to men. But instead of reshaping role of women, we're actually adding more and more to-dos on the list. On average, women are much more obedient to social rules and standards than men are. We would much often say yes to those rules and expectations than no. But when the list of expectations to us grow, it starts to be even more important than ever to say no much often than yes. There are so many things that we are expected to be, so many things we can achieve, so many things we can learn from. But we can't do all of that if we really want to be exceptional and great. A few years back, when I was working for one of automotive brands, we tried to figure out what we could do in the next fiscal year with a budget of 8-10 times smaller than our competitors. So we asked ourselves, like, what can we do? What media we can buy? What comms plan we can create to actually make a statement in our consumers' mind and make this statement last? We had a lot of talks. We discussed many options, many plans, many innovative stuff that we could do, amazing stuff. And CEO of that company said something along those lines. All of this is great. All of this is exciting. But actually, we need to decide what we won't do. We have to prioritize, focus, not to spread ourselves too thin. For the past few years, I realized that it doesn't only make sense in a business life, but also in a private one. That's why it stuck to me for so many years. There are so many things that we can do to become a real role models for others. In those moments when we firmly and authoritatively say no to I think you should do, now is the time that you need to take this step. I went through it. You have to go through it as well. There's no GPS that anyone can offer to you. Not your mom, your husband, your partner, your friend, no one. The only compass you have is your inner voice, inner energy. This is the only one you can trust, however you want to call that. When I was in my last year of high school, I decided I want to become a philosopher. I applied only for philosophy studies back then, and was probably the only one in my high school who was so brave or dumb to do that. And I can see you know what I'm talking about. I only applied for philosophy, no real studies, no studies that could teach me hard skills, nothing, no backup plan, nothing. I said to myself back then, it was a long time ago, I said to myself, I just want to be wise. No matter what I'm going to do in my professional life, I just want to know how to think. Obviously, everyone around me asked me, but why do you need to be wise for? You need to secure yourself a well-paid job. Philosophy is for losers, not for winners. Mental. I don't know what future holds, but one thing I'm sure of is that saying no to paths that all the others have taken made me transgress myself over and over again. Singularity of purpose will always drive you in one direction. You just have to listen to what your body, energy, however you want to call that, tells you. Everything else doesn't matter. The moment you find something interesting, drop everything else. Start to study it. Think about it. Try to grasp it. Visualize it. Try to see it from every angle. So many have failed to listen to their inner voice whenever they knock on the door. Dare to hear from your closest and friends. Ooh, that's interesting what you're up to. I wish you all the best of luck. or your husband can achieve it, but you? No matter who you trust, no matter what you believe in, question every piece of advice that you get. Criticize any opinions that comes into your way. Don't be afraid to hear laughter and see disbelief in people's faces. It only proves that you're up for something that others can't even describe. Don't settle. If you don't know it today, you'll get there. But the only thing you have to trust is your inner voice. You're gonna experience a roller coaster ride, I can assure you, going from up to down and all the ways. But don't let go of the handle. Your inner voice is the only one you can trust. Let's start right now. Think about this feeling, this emotion, this thing that wakes you up in the morning, that lets you get out of the bed. Grasp it, feel it, touch it, visualize it. Now you know what is on your not to-do list. Thank you.